Morning, guys. Day of the competition. About 6:45 in the morning. Getting breakfast. Lunch made up. Getting ready to head out probably around 8. Didn't sleep worth anything last night. Didn't expect to sleep too good due to the competition being today. And then I got looking on Facebook before I went to bed last night and found out that one of my old mentors, somebody that my dad and my uncle went to high school with, a guy that taught my emergency medical technician class, that got me my job, passed away last night, sometime yesterday. So that kind of made it hard to sleep last night too. Still sinking in this morning that he's passed away, and yeah, just gonna go out there and put everything together today for him. Making my breakfast right now. I'm downsizing it a little bit, taking 2 eggs out. I'm gonna only do 4 whole eggs. Cooking both my rice for my lunch and my breakfast right now. Butter's melted. I got some spinach for breakfast today. So butter's almost melted, so I'm gonna add my spinach in now. Alright, so these are the shirts. I don't know if it's backwards or not. Sanford Strong on the front, red, white, and blue. Then on the back, and this is my actual shirt. I got shirts for my whole family, my wife, my daughter, and onesie for the son. I think that's pretty cool. And my dad, his wife, got shirts. My little brother and half brother and sister got shirts. My grandma got a shirt, and my buddy Steve and his boy that always come over to train, they got shirts. So yeah, I like these shirts. Designed them myself.
What's going on, guys? It is like 10 o'clock at night, the same day as the competition. Sitting down in the basement right now. I'm ready to work on editing the actual competition video. Um, it was a very long day. We left the house at like just before 8 o'clock this morning. I'd say about 7:45. Got to the competition right at 9. Set up, weighed in. I'll go over that real quick. I weighed in because it was a qualifier. It was in kg, so it was 157.2 kgs, which is 345 pounds. So just to go over that, last year I was weighing in at the competition at 360. The heaviest I got last year was at the powerlifting meet that I put on with my friends. I was 370. So by the time I ended keto and got started on vertical, I was 336. So I only put on 9 pounds during the training and switching over to including carbs into my diet and having a few cheat meals, sometimes a couple of times a week or days. So yeah, 9 pounds is good. So I'm gonna go over the competition right now as I'm working on my computer here. First event was the yoke and sandbag carry. So we got surprised the other day. The yoke and sandbag both went up in weight. I've been training with a 600-pound yoke and I haven't touched my sandbag at all. So a 650 yoke was one of the heaviest yokes I've ever done, and it went surprisingly well. Went the whole entire 60 feet without dropping at all. Was going at a decent pace. Ran back, got the sandbag, and only carried the sandbag about halfway back. So could have done better with that, but I was carrying the sandbag like right on my chest, so it got hard to breathe about halfway down, and had to drop it. Um, could have carried it differently, sure. Could have bear hugged it instead of carrying it on the ends or on the top and the bottom. I could have put it over my shoulder. But what we're supposed to do is carry it the entire 60 feet and load it up over top of the keg or the yoke. So if you notice while I'm carrying the yoke, it's a little bit. I have the crossbar set a lot lower than I normally would. Probably about. I think I usually set it at like 6, and I had it at 8. So it was about say 4 inches lower than I would normally have it. Just because I had to put the sandbag over top of that bar, and I wanted to, play the game and make it easier for me to do, even though harder to pick it up at the beginning. Next event was the overhead press medley. I felt good going into this, and it didn't go well. My second overhead press, okay, vipered, cleaned, and pressed the log like it was almost nothing. Got to the axle, which should have been easy for me as well, and just struggled to lock it out. I didn't want to wear my elbow sleeves because I didn't want my forearms to go numb, just because they are hard to put on. And if I had to put them on early and wait around for a while, my forearms would have gone numb. That happened in my last competition down in West Virginia, and I wasn't going to mess around with that today. So I went and tried the block. The block was way too heavy. Again, sitting on my chest, it got heavy. So, and on my second press on the axle, I actually felt my shoulder pop. So that wasn't good. Wasn't in a lot of pain. I feel it is hard to raise my shoulder above that right now. Going back that far hurts. I've had issues with this shoulder before. In high school, I partially dislocated it, stretched the shoulder socket out, and had to do physical therapy for 4 months on, or 4 weeks on that. That was playing football. I did that. Went to tackle somebody, and they brushed off the side of my shoulder and hyperextended my shoulder. Sorry, I'm editing and doing everything at once here. So keg toss. Is something I practiced the most this year was doing my keg toss over my rope out in the backyard. I will continue to do practicing that because I do have to do sandbags over the bar at my next competition. I thought it was going to go a lot better than it did. I thought I was getting that last keg over, 3 tries on it, and it just was getting lower and lower each time. Was hitting the crossbar on it each time about another 2 inches, and it would have went over easily. Would have rolled right over that crossbar, but it is what it is. There was a like 4 or 5 way tie for second place on that. The only guy that beat us got all 6 kegs over. And that last keg was heavier than I had been practicing with. It was a 40-pound keg, and my heaviest that I have is 32. So there was 2 20-pounds, 2 25-pounds, a 30, and a 40. So car deadlift was another surprise to us. They increased the weight on that by 50 pounds from 550 to 600. So the whole time I was in like 3rd or 4th place the whole entire day. The guys that were ahead of us in first and second were in first and second all day. They were actually, surprisingly, the guy that took second was in first the whole entire time until the last event. So it just shows you how much stuff can change in our sport. So yeah, they were battling back and forth. So I went against my buddy Miles or my buddy Jake, pretty much the whole time. They were battling back and forth between, 3rd and 4th, and I think Jake dropped a couple spots because he hurt his back on the car deadlift. So only 3 people were able to deadlift the car, and when I say it's not a conventional deadlift, it's actually harder. It was tough. It was a 600-pound deadlift, and that's the heaviest deadlift I've ever done. So I was pretty front handle, standard height. It was heavy. I struggled. I had to hitch it, and I got that 1 rep. The guys that were battling for first and second got one got 1 rep and one got 4 reps. So I tied for second on that one also. Then stones. First 3 went up pretty good. I got the 300-pounder to my lap, and that was about it. I knew I wasn't gonna. I wanted to, but I wasn't able to do it. So it was a very long, hot. You could tell my nose is burnt, my forehead's burnt. I got raccoon eyes from wearing sunglasses all day. I got burnt today. We did have canopies there, but I had to, stand out and wait for my name to get called and cheering on all my friends that were there and being supportive of one another. So, I don't know. There was definitely a lot of ups and downs today about how things went. So, I'll leave it with that. Again, they only trophied the first place guy. Nothing for second place or third place like other divisions had. So, so I guess it's time to head out tomorrow sometime and do our vacation for a week. I will take my computer and everything with me to try and capture some of that. I don't know how many videos it'll be. And just have a good time with my family for the week. Wife is sending me messages. Speaking of her, I gotta thank her and my kids for being patient with me all day. I gotta thank my mom, her husband, my dad, his wife, my little brother and sister, my grandma and her boyfriend. Who else came? And all my other friends that were there supported. Steve, my buddy Big Steve, thank you for coming out for sure. Christian and Glenn being supportive. All my other friends that made through the sport through the years, thank you a lot. Matt Mitchell, good meeting you, guy. Yes, just had a good time overall. There was, things that could have been better, like things that could have been worse, but I'm not gonna get into that. So, as always, my friends, thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've seen both the videos by now. And as always, lift big, eat big, and get big.